His mother said I was too poor to sit at their table at Christmas. I excused myself quietly, stepped into the hallway, and made one phone call. It lasted 4 minutes. When I walked back through that dining room door, I sat down, unfolded my napkin, and said nothing. Nobody at that table knew that the company signing their paychecks, the company whose logo was printed on the wine glasses in the cabinet behind them, had my name on the founding deed. That was December 23rd. By December 26th, 3 of them no longer had jobs. My name is Renata Osei. I am 34 years old, and I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment in Akron, Ohio, with my mother, my younger brother Marcus, and the particular kind of discipline that comes from watching someone stretch a grocery budget like taffy. My mother worked 2 jobs for most of my childhood. She kept a small notebook in her apron pocket where she tracked every dollar. Not because she was anxious, but because she was precise. That precision was the inheritance she gave me. I went to Ohio State on a merit scholarship. I studied finance. After graduation, I moved to Atlanta and spent 4 years at a mid-sized private equity firm, learning how money actually moves. Not the textbook version, but the real one. The version where relationships and paperwork and timing matter more than any formula. At 27, I left that firm, took the small amount I had saved, and became a silent co-founder in a logistics technology company called Aldrin Ventures with my mentor, a man named Douglas Aldrin, who had been in freight and supply chain for 30 years and needed someone who could build the financial architecture he never had time to learn. Silent is the key word. My name was on the founding documents, on the equity agreement, on the LLC registration. It was not in the press releases. It was not on the website. Douglas was a face. I was, as he called me once in a meeting, the reason the foundation doesn't crack. Aldrin Ventures grew. Slowly at first, then the way things tend to grow when the infrastructure is solid, quickly and in multiple directions at once. By the time I was 31, we had 140 employees across 3 states. By 32, we had signed contracts with 2 national retail chains and a regional hospital network for supply chain management services. I had equity, real equity, the kind with a dollar amount attached that I had never said out loud to anyone except my accountant and my mother. I also had Daniel Whitmore. I met Daniel at a charity gala in Atlanta, the kind of event where the tablecloths cost more than my first car, and everyone is performing a version of themselves they practiced. He was a structural engineer, tall, careful with his words, the kind of man who listened to finish sentences rather than to start his own. We talked for 2 hours about nothing consequential and then exchanged numbers, and I drove home thinking about the way he had looked at me like I was the most interesting thing in the room, not the most impressive, just the most interesting. That distinction mattered to me. We dated for a year before I met his family. Full story on YouTube below.